David Banner. Any standout moments that you can remember specifically about that album?
So this is really funny, Tommy. I never talked about this before. The song that I got sued over was the song that I was talking about when me and my ex-girlfriend broke up, because the actual song was called Sex, Drugs, and Video Games. And I said, one of the hardest lines I ever spit in my life, I said, they say I'm full of sin. I said, no, I said, I hope you don't die broke and lonely, fucking with them bitter bitches. They say I'm full of sin, but they ain't got no men. Regardless of my wrong deeds, you and I were friends, you know? But what's funny, that was the song I ended up getting sued over, almost like that was her spirit, like, well, fuck you, motherfucker. But anyway, the judge said that he really believed that I didn't know that there was a sample in the song. But he asked the question. He was like, did I infringe on his copyright? That's a set up question. Because if it's in there and I put it out, you know the answer to that. So he said, well, you owe the copyright owner something. So then he asked the young lawyers in the room who were working, do you know this David Banner guy? Because this was an old white dude. And they said, every young lawyer. And if y'all watching this, I really appreciate y'all. I wanted to actually get the names of the lawyers and send them some presents, but my lawyer suggested that I didn't do that because it would look like tampering. But they was like, the lawyer's like, that's a good dude. He does a lot for the community. Those lawyers possibly saved me about $70,000. Even though I end up paying a lot of money. Where some people get paid a year. I get paid for a sample, look, for a free mixtape that I didn't tour off of. It would be different if I toured or you could find a way that I didn't make no money off of this record. So, but that mixtape, I believe, was just an example of me trying to do right, you know.
Is there a song in your catalog that isn't mainstream that you feel everyone in the world should listen to at least once?
That's a hard question, bro, because every song that I've ever put out, man, came from the heart. And like my second album, bro, I was so drunk and depressed. There's a song called My Lord on my second album. If you go and listen to the beginning of My Lord, I say I'm high. I say I'm drunk and high as fuck. I was in New York in Sony Studios. I used to stay up I really think that second album that I recorded, Baptized in Dirty Water, I think I broke a Guinness World Book of Records or something. I did that whole album in 2 weeks. The whole album, most of the beats, you know, everything, mastering everything. And I would stay up 2 days at a time. And no sun, no nothing. And I remember my cousin found me face floored in the bathroom at Sony Studios in Manhattan. Was it Manhattan? Yeah, Manhattan. Like they had to pick me up. And it was funny because I think Slim Thug was in the studio that night. And they propped me up on the wall and I recorded that song. And I think the hook was, my Lord, I'm losing my soul and my mind. Something like the devil keeps calling. I keep falling behind, my Lord. And I was going through so much stuff going from the streets and going from being aggressive to going from being the hunter to being the hunted. And I don't, it's funny, some people like that, especially in Mississippi, some people like my second album more than my first album. But I don't even like listening to that album because that's the album that I was going through the most pain on. You know? So like, And I would always tell people, as much as people think that I'm conscious now, 60 to 70% of all my albums have always been conscious if you listen to them, with the exception of that album. Because I was angry, I was drunk, I was trying to, unlike most people, I went from being homeless to being a millionaire in 1 week. Imagine the mind fuck of having to sleep in your van to having anything that you want. Nobody teaching you about taxes. One thing about Black artists is we never talk about the street component of living in the most impoverished state and people yelling out, you got a $10 million deal, the pressure. People always talk about people changing, or rappers changing, or artists changing, but they never talk about people changing on you. And I can remember I always used to love going to the most hood clubs, just being in the environment with my people. I love my people. I remember feeling like people were sizing me up to see if I was weak, to see if they could try me. And I don't even really listen to my old music because music is spiritual to me. And it put me back in that mind frame, and it put me back in that space. And, as a man that's seeking balance, I don't like feeling that. But what I will say, beat-wise, my first album, with the exception of one beat, and somebody else made that beat. Production, people never give me and the producers that produced my first album the credit that they need for that. That shit jamming. I believe that bitch could come out right fucking now, and that shit would stand the test of time.
Being that you're coming off of one of the greatest albums of our time in the God Box, how do you approach the sequel knowing the potential impact it may have on the culture?
When Charlamagne said that, I had always said the first God Box people were gonna act like this. I remember walking up to Joe Budden and Puffy Party. Bro, what's up? Come on, my guy. Like, me and you started at the same time. His first single, and Like a Pimp, that shit was released at the same time. Like, we would bump into each other. Like, we were bonded together. Like, bro, like, why you ain't say nothing about that shit? Bro, like, come on, bro. Like, he was like, man, Charlamagne told me how jamming that shit is, bro. And I remember even the people who, anyway, Tip asked me, I was working on Tip new album recently. He said, you working on your new album? I was like, yeah, bro. And people are surprised because it took me, 6 years to come out with that? 6, 7 years to come out with that bitch? And I'm coming right back with the God Box 2. Tip asked me, how you gonna call your next album the God Box 2? He's like, how you gonna fuck with that? Well, Tommy, you're gonna be the first person that get a scoop on this. The God Boxes was always a 3-album concept. If you look at anything that's factual or anything that's true, it stands the test of time. Fire has burned you since the beginning of time, right or wrong? Okay. So a lot of times when people learn new information, they feel like it's new because they are now privy to it, right? But Nikola Tesla said that electricity has always existed. I just showed it to you. Now you see it all the time. Electricity has always been here. So I feel like the young cats say, I feel like the first God Box was facts. So if you really think about it, first God Box is the past. You really think about right knowledge. It's been here since the beginning of time. The God Box 2, a lot of people are gonna think, the old Banner back. Banner done backslid. Cause I even said on the verse where Banner back and he backslid. It's my observation of the present. So the God Box 2 is where I feel our people are now, without any emotion. I'm not saying that it's good or bad, but this is what I see, right? when you have a grasp of the past, which most of our people don't, and a vision, and you're grounded in the present with vision, then you can control the future, which will be the God Box 3, which is gonna be really futuristic, trippy. You know what I'm saying? But this God Box, which you have seen the process, I'm on that motherfucking ass. And it feels, and no disrespect to the ladies out there, I hadn't said pussy on a record in so long, and it felt so good, bro. It was just like when I went raw vegan for, I think it was 8 months. And then I had my first taste of, chicken or something for the first time. That's how the God Box 2 feel. I can't even bullshit you. To say pussy and to say fuck nigga like one more time, dog. To not put any boundaries on myself again, bro. And to just visit my lower self for a second. Even though I don't plan on staying there. And I tell Salih this all the time. Bro, this is just an experiment, bro. This is just an observation. Know that, the podcast is the way that it is now. My music is the way that it is now so that I can live in this moment. But after the God Box 2 is done, bro, we going back here. You know what I'm saying? So, like, that's just been the process. I've been high and drinking and purposely enjoying myself, but it's only an observation. And then as soon as the God Box 2 is over, I'm back to meditation and studying and, but I just had to revisit that to have an authenticity about the whole entire process. And I didn't say nothing about it because I didn't want people to try to judge. I wanted the people to be in the moment for each album. So I almost call this the God Box 2 the Gold Teeth album. That's why I went to Scotty. Remember, I went to Scotty and I got 12 slugs and I gotta take them slow. But I tell you, let me tell you something really quick. And this is important. Ain't it crazy? And I really think my relationship with the Most High, bro, is my fault. I saw I did that to you. My relationship with the Most High is crazy because I really think well, I don't think I play games with the Most High. I think the Most High plays games with me. But as soon as I decided to do the God Box 2, the world shifted to the God Box 1. Imagine the mind fuck. So now I'm going to meet you where you are, and now you willing for the first time in our lifetime to meet me where I've been for 20 years. That's a mind fuck, but I think being a visionary means that you have to be alone in all them places. Yeah.
What's a wild hip hop story that people may not know about that you can share with us?
When I was going through my worst depression, man, I really felt like I was dying. And something just told me, like, me and Snoop were really tight at the time, and I was like, Unc, I need help, man. Like, I told him what I was going through. He said, nephew, come by the studio. This is when Snoop had his professional roller. He had a white boy rolling up his blunts for him. The dude rolled him about 7 of them. I'm talking about them Cali baseball bats. Like, the average person smoked that. I'm talking about a joint of that Cali shit. You be blown. Snoop be rolling baseball bats, but he rolled up 7 blunts, man, and told me his life story. Post death row. It wasn't even, because what people forget about Snoop is when we met Snoop musically, he was on trial. Like, you remember that? He was on trial for murder, bro. Murder was the case. And he didn't talk about that. He didn't talk about death row. He didn't talk about Pac. He talked about From No Limit on up until, and one of the things he did talk about was how much Master P helped him. How much Master P drove, I never forget this, Master P drove him through a neighborhood and said, pick a house. Took him to the whistle name, pick a car. Took him to a gun store, pick a gun. Bought a car for him, his wife. And at the time, I had a $700,000 tax problem. Snoop was like, I had a $2 million tax problem. And he was like, Pete took care of all that shit. And I'm not telling his business. He's already talked about this before, on TV. But he told me just like how much people had scammed on him, his family. The shit Snoop has been through, man. I don't know how he's still standing, man. On top of being a Crip living in LA. Let's not ever forget that. You know what I'm saying? And when Snoop got finished talking to me, bro, he did better than any counselor that I've ever dealt with in my life, because I was like, shit. Not that my life wasn't bad, but I took my little problems and put them in my pocket and kept moving. It's not that you are happy about the fact that somebody else is suffering, but just the fact that you're not going through it alone. And I really think because I was from Mississippi, and a lot of people don't know this, Snoop was born in Mississippi. So his family is in Mississippi. People that he loves is in Mississippi. He's always had an affinity, for Mississippi. And Too Short was that way too. I think that's why they helped me so much in their career, because that's where their families are from. And I said this in an interview, man. During that same time, my Bentley had broke down. And Snoop said, where your little pretty car at? He saw that my car was gone, because every time he would roll up in my building, he'd be looking for my car. And that's again for y'all who spend all this money on cars. Snoop was bigger than is bigger than all these rappers. He never bought none of that shit. Like, he was smart with his money, bro. But he was like, where your little pretty car at? I was like, Unc, it's broke. He threw me his keys and said, I'm going on tour for 2 months. Don't tear my shit up, Banner. And I drove Snoop car around while he was on tour until my car got fixed.
Where do you draw inspiration?
John Henrik Clark, Malcolm X, Anthony Broder, now also Regina, Sally, you all, me, to be honest with you, if it wasn't for Sally and Regina, I wouldn't be doing the shit that I'm doing now. Finding someone else to live for besides yourself. Knowing that I can help you all push forward in your careers. Just the struggle of our ancestors, especially with me knowing what my people have gone through in Mississippi. You can find inspiration. Like, I tell you something that's crazy. When I started doing transcendental meditation and I started really, really focusing on my meditation, bro, you can find inspiration in the smallest thing, bro. Watching how ants work together as a whole. You can see a big-ass animal fall into an ant pile, end up getting their ass kicked. You feel me? Because they all work together. My inspiration comes from life in general. I think that God puts a message in anything if you steal it.
One of my homies in the Bronx is a brother named DJ Cool Kid.
Cool Kid! Cool Kid! Cool Kid, bitch, you think that I'm playing. Walk up to this motherfucker, busting his spraying. Yeah, that's my guy.
Yeah, my man Adrian, I used to come to his crib all the time in the projects. He told me at the height of your career, you went down to his crib in the hood in the Bronx.
And did that verse. Cool Kid, bitch, thinking of playing. Walk up to this motherfucker, busting his spraying.
What is it about you that even at the heights you obtained early in your career, you were still able and willing to pull up in the hood and interact with the people?
Well, I'll tell you something. I'm gonna get to that, but I'm gonna tell you something even crazy. One of my best friends, his name is Nickel D. He's from Taft Projects. I was living in Harlem at the time, and I did this DVD. What's the name? We did it in my homeboy's building in Taft. We did the whole thing in Taft. I think with Cool Kid and everybody else, with me coming from Mississippi and the way that people treated us, I said that I would try to never treat people that way. You know, I don't know if you ever seen the first Captain America, but dude asked the scientists, like, I'm the smallest dude in the army. Why would you give me this kind of power? He said, because you know how it feels to be on the other side of the sword. So if I gave you the sword, you would know how the victim feels when you pull the sword on them. So that means that you have a level of responsibility. I know how it feels for people to treat you like shit. I watch people treat my people like shit. And I promised myself that I would try, not to say that I don't have my moments, but when I do have my moments, I stay my ass inside. But I love my people, bro. And Cool Kid, actually very similar to yourself, bro. You have a young spirit. You a grown-ass man. Ain't nothing about you pussy. But you have a young spirit. Like me, bro. People like you, that's what you said before we even started the interview. Like, people would never imagine, as aggressive and as big as you are, that you have such a childlike spirit. But like Pimp C said, you can't let everybody know you, because I hurt you. If you infringe upon my child spirit, I fuck you up. But Cool Kid was always, man, he's still to this day. He's 20 years older now. He still has that same spirit, and I felt this spirit. So shit, bro, tell me when we recording it, wherever we coming, I'm coming to. And I don't think you would put me in a position to hurt myself. And I believe I went over there by myself.
Yeah, that's what he said. Twice.
With everything that you have going on, from music to film to multimedia, how do you decompress after a long day's work?
Good question. How do I decompress? Meditation. I go up into the Smoky Mountains. And it's funny, where I go to is probably what people would consider one of the most redneck parts of Georgia and Tennessee. But I have not experienced racism one time that I've gone up there. Like, I go way up in the mountains, bro, with the bears and shit. I go way up in the Smoky Mountains, bro. And it's crazy because them people treat me, and a lot of them know who I am. And they don't fuck with me. Now, I take all my pistols up there just in case. But I go inward now. I don't go out. I sit still. People trip on me about that. When I go on vacation, bro, most people go on vacation, bro, and run around more than they run around when they're at home. I sleep. I get up under a fire. I chill. You know what I'm saying? That's what I do. I be still, man. Because Scott Parker told me this. He was like, man, I'm head of security at some of the biggest groups, you know, on this planet. When I get home, because Scott will come to my house sometime, he'll be at my house for 2 weeks and I only see him 3 times. And that's him going back and forth to the bathroom. And I'd be like, bro, you don't want to go to the grocery store? You don't want to go nowhere, bro? He's like, bro, I'm tired of people. My life is people. So when I'm on my personal time, I don't want to talk.
Speak a little on the times and where we are right now, and also where you see us going.
About the times where we are, I feel like we've always been where we are now. It's just that more people see it. Like, it's not like they whooping our ass or killing us at a more alarming rate. You know, I said it once, I think the last time I was on CNN. Like, they had brought me up for Mike Brown, and then they brought me up for... What the fuck do you want me to say that I didn't say the last time? I say the same fucking thing every time. When black people ask me, what do we need to do? I say, get your own shit. What else in the fuck do you want me to say? Like, even right now, people like, Banner, what you think? Go back and look at what I've been saying for the last fucking 10 years. I've been consistently saying the same thing over and over again. And that's the reason why I say there is not a deficit in leadership. People just don't want to listen. You feel me? So when people start to wake up and when people start to see more, they want you to be excited like they're excited. What the fuck I'm gonna get excited for? I've been telling you this shit. You know, and not saying that I'm right, because like I told you before, the truth has always existed. I'm not telling you anything that Elijah Muhammad didn't say, and not even to say that I'm anywhere close to those people. I'm not telling you anything that Marcus Garvey didn't tell you. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just people don't listen. You know? And so where we are, we're at a time when people are illuminating themselves. And the cool thing, Brother Ali told me, the rapper Brother Ali told me something. He said, David Banner, you want to know why all of this is happening now? And I said, why, brother? He said, because of COVID. He said, there wasn't no clubs, wasn't no new movies, not a lot of new shit on TV. People had God time. They had to be still. It's like how I meditate every day. People basically had to meditate for about 2-3 months. So when George was murdered, that happened during the time that people were coming up out of their slumber. And their spirits was waking up. The spirits were waking up, right? So it happened, and so now motherfuckers are seeing what black people has been saying all the fucking time. I asked one of my uber rich white friends called me. Bet you didn't think I had those, did you? And he was like, damn, David. And I was like, he was like, bro, you've been saying this shit all the time, huh? And I was like, isn't it crazy that 2 months ago, you were not actually even having this conversation? Because he pulled all his white friends together and had, was having this big conversation about what's going on with black people. And I was like, bro, because he called me and asked me, like, bro, give me a book to read. I gave him Frantz Fanon's Black Skin, White Mask, right? Oh, I'm sorry, what is it? Yeah, Black Skin, White Mask. I think that's Frantz Fanon's book. But he read the book and was blown away. And I said, the crazy thing, bro, you weren't even thinking about this 2 months, much less 5 years ago. You know, I am just grateful that people ever woke up. Because if you think about what people call the dark ages, there are times there's like hundreds or 1,000 year or thousands of years that have eclipsed, and people haven't been illuminated to about nothing. So just the fact that people see it during the time that we exist is a blessing.
What is it that makes a man that has enough to actually chill continue to fight?
What is it about me, a man who has enough that I could chill, makes me continue to fight? Well, first of all, I always tell people it's hard for you to tell me that I made it when you don't know what my finish line was. So I may have made $1 million last year, but what if my goal was $1 billion? What if my goal was 2 million? I failed. So the problem is most people don't know what my goal was. So when people see my life, they attach their wants or needs to mine and think that I've done something great, but to me it's nothing. I've never really been, and me and Lee had this conversation, because Lee would always ask me, bro, why you mad? My friends from back at the crib would always say, why you mad? You got everything. Women like you, at the time, you got Bentleys and blah, 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 blah. You got an office, a crib, blah, blah, blah. That shit don't mean nothing. I want cities, bro, with an S. I want thousands, 10,000 acres of land where we're growing food and we're able to sustain ourselves Without the goals that I have for myself, I can't do in a lifetime. It's going to take the resurrection of me, either through another person or through my children, to manifest my dream. So this shit that everybody else is concerned with, to me, is distraction. You know, I just, and to me, until my people are free, it don't really matter. Or at least, because we'll talk about this on the next corner. About 6 months ago, I almost died. Something really crazy happened, and I almost died. And I won't say I almost died, because I didn't die, but it was really bad. And I realized that instead of trying to change the world, how about change the people around me? If I change the world and don't change Regina's life, don't change your life, Sally, Scott, Edward, Karan, I fail. Bird, I failed if I can't change my people. So stop trying to change the lives of people that you don't know and change the lives of the people around you who are worthy. Let's be clear. Who are worthy. And I changed the focus to a banner vision and said that if I can clean up my life and accomplish my lofty goals, then I can employ other people.
David Banner will not rest until.
David Banner will not rest until. I don't know, man. I'm tired. I'm tired. I'm tired mentally. I'm tired physically, spiritually. I work out all the time, bro. I fight all the fucking time, bro. I produce. I fucking rap. I act. I'm writing scripts, learning scripts. Bro, I'm tired, Tommy. I'm not even playing, bro. I'm tired of fucking dating. I want to be married. I want to have children. I'm tired of being on the edge. I make a lot of money, but I'm always investing in future ventures, so I'm still always on the edge. I have a fucking staff. I got people who are dependent on me, bro. I'm tired. I can't continue at this rate, bro. I just can't. It's not human what I do. And people assume that because I'm so outwardly big and I'm outwardly bold that my feelings don't get hurt, and I'm not tired, that I don't get angry or mad. I work on this shit. I'm angry, I'm mad, I be wanting to beat the fuck out of motherfuckers. It be little weak motherfuckers too that I know I could break their fucking face. And I have to continue to keep discipline and keep my mind about myself, but I am tired, bro. I am so happy that I met you all. Like, bro, once I met you, then I didn't have to worry about, like, you remember when we first met, I would sit through and watch every fucking episode, every minute, every second. I still watch most of it, but I know that you believe in me, and more than me, you believe in yourself, and you know the work that we do together is still a reflection of you. So I remember even there was some shit that was misspelled. If you notice, I didn't get mad and I never brought it to you. You know why I didn't? Because I know how you feel about your shit. And if you missed that, that means you just really missed it. You wasn't fucking up, or that you wouldn't do you like that. Fuck me. You feel what I'm saying? But when I met you, I didn't have to so much worry about it. Have you ever noticed I always ask you how you feel about it? Yeah. If you tell me, yeah, I don't do that for many people, I'd be like, go. Because we already behind. You know, I know Regina. When people complain they didn't get something, I be ready to go to go to war because I know Regina is more anal about my shit than I am, and I'm anal. Salih would kill a motherfucker about me, period. I know he would. And so I don't have to go as hard, or I can take my energy and put it. Sometimes Regina and Salih both will tell me, go home, get in the bed, bro. Don't come in the office today. We got it. We promise we got it. And, you know, I have never talked about this on video before, but I got cameras all over my office. Sometimes Regina come here at 12 midnight, bro, and be filling orders, bro. And I see it because my phone will go off. And like, to have somebody that care about your business, whether it's as much or in some cases more than you do, I'm not used to that shit where I'm from. So it gives me a little rest, but I'm tired. Every time I see a fucking cop, I'm fucking tired. You know, it just seemed like this shit don't stop. But what else do you have? Go back to being homeless? I ain't going back to that shit. So you really can't stop. You really can't stop. And there's people who eat based off whether I get up in the morning. So even the days that I don't feel like giving up, I mean, the days that I do feel like giving up, I keep going.
Let's talk about these ladies, man. Because, you know, again, I scroll on your Instagram.
Hey, before you ask the question, I'll tell you something crazy. Man, as aggressive as women are online, women don't do that in person, bro.
Really?
And surprisingly enough, no bullshit. I see what women say, and like my homegirls will tell me and shit what women be saying. I've only had maybe in my whole career like 10 aggressive DMs.
Okay.
You know, I think it's the respect that women have for me.
Because I see a lot of emojis with the tongue out.
Yeah. Yeah. But that's just people throwing their Hail Marys, bruh. But I'm serious. I'm surprised. Like, I thought I would get more. Right. Like the way as hard as I work on this bullshit.
Where are you relationship-wise?
Good question. Where am I relationship-wise? First of all, something that people don't know about me, and I think people would be surprised. I'm one of the few probably rappers of men that outwardly I've always wanted to be married. I think that I would be a better businessman. I think I could focus my energy a little bit more. And I've always wanted children. I wanted 7 kids. Then I took care of my cousin kid for a couple of days. Them motherfuckers are expensive. At this point, maybe 2. But I in most of the books that I've read, it's about what you're willing to sacrifice. You know, I guess if I lie right now, I get struck down. But no, seriously. And they always ask, what are you willing to sacrifice? And that has always been one of the things. Being a father is one of the things that I've always wanted the most in my life. So for my career, would that not be the way that the universe works? Wouldn't that be what I would have to sacrifice? You know, so, and I honestly believe you are everybody that's in your life, especially on the relationship side, is a reflection of who you are. And I always tell people, how could I demand an angel when I was a demon? So I believe as I become a better man, the universe is preparing and molding my angel for me. But before I give up, I have to reach that level. And then I think she'll come to me. Everything in my life now, bro, I'm telling you right now, I know how I do it, but I don't know how I do what I do, or what we do as a company a month, bro. Like, we do this shit. I'm not gonna say whose company said this, but we did a joint project with this company, and They were like, we have 11 people on staff to do specifically what you all do. And it was like, how in the fuck do you all do it with 3 people? And we literally, me and Regina both looked at him like, we don't know. We didn't know that it takes 11 people. We just do this shit. And I really think that when I do whatever God has for me to do, she'll come. If she don't, we're gonna have to sign some paperwork and get me a donor soon. 'Cause, I might have to beat and ski. Find me a motherfucking strong ass, Amazon and get to it. But I'll say this in closing, man. I'm really grateful for all of the support that I've been able to get my career. I don't believe that there's too many rappers or too many entertainers on this earth who's been able to grow like I have, and people still fuck with them. I try as hard as I can as a company to create things that I think that our people need. We're about to start focusing most of our power on films, because I believe you can talk about things in music, but if kids don't have a vision of what it looks like, it doesn't matter. But I felt like our generation needed a flag. I created a flag. And Tommy, you know this, on davidbanner.com, bro, it's hard to even keep the flags in. We got the flags in, half of them were gone in 3-4 days. I'll say this on camera, and I have to admit, I was a little pissed off with the level of support that I got from my people when I first opened up davidbanner.com. But what I ended up realizing is that I wasn't ready for what I thought I was ready for. If 10,000 people would have came immediately and came to my website, I wouldn't have been able to keep up with that demand. I realized that the support that our people gave me is just what I needed to learn and to get, my products and the things that we produce as a whole up to par. Because just like my rap career, like I told y'all about my rap career, I don't compete with local Black businesses. I compete internationally. So from my bags, from the scents that we put on, when you smell, when some of you all open your God boxes and you smell a certain fragrance, that's the fragrance that I wear on my body. I want everything that goes out, I want it to represent our people and more so me. So I want everything to be A1. And I just like to thank people for being patient with me, not just as a businessman, but as an artist and as a person, because I am a work in progress. And the greatest thing that a thinking man can learn on this earth is that he knows nothing. So every day I'm learning something new, and I appreciate you for allowing me to learn. Thank you for supporting the David Banner Podcast.
This episode of the David Banner Podcast is being sponsored by the all-new Nissan of Union City. That's 4080 Jonesboro Road, Union City, Georgia, 30291. Again, that's 4080 Jonesboro Road, Union City, Georgia, 30291. That's Nissan of Union City. Come and experience the difference.